Hello, grade 9. Today's lesson it's about Alexander the Great. Philip builds Macedonian power. The kingdom of Macedonia, located just north of Greece, had rough terrain and cold climate. The Macedonians were hardy people who lived in the mountain villages rather than the city-state. Most of Macedonian nobles thought themselves as Greeks, so it's the kingdom of Macedonia was located only in just in north of Greece, but the people that are there not regarded as Greeks, but the nobles regard them as Greeks. Philip II became the king of King Macedonia, though only 23 years old. So he ruled the country when he's only 23 years old. He quickly proved to be a brilliant general and ruthless politician. Philip transformed the rugged peasants under his command into a well-trained professional army. Philip began, after he prepared the servants and the peasants and the things like that, he prepared an invasion throughout Greece. So he prepared to invade Greece. The Macedonians soundly defeated the Greeks at the Battle of Chaeronea. This defeat ended the Greek independence. Although Philip planned to invade Persia next, he never got the chance. So he never got the chance to conquer Persia. At his daughter's wedding, he was stabbed to death by a former guardsman. Philip's son Alexander immediately proclaimed himself as a king of Macedonia. Because of the accomplishments over the next 13 years, he became known as Alexander the Great. So, whenever I ask you why he was named as Alexander the Great, because the accomplishments that he made for more than 13 years before his death. So from this slide, we know that the Macedonia, where is the location of Macedonia? Macedonia, who is the ruler and who is the assistants, how they do and how they prepare for invasion on Greece. Alexander, after he proclaimed himself immediately as a king after his father's death, he proclaimed himself as a king when he was only 20 years old. So his father ruled the country when he was 23 years old, and he ruled the country when he was only 20 years old. Although Alexander was only 20 years old when he became a king, he was well prepared to lead. Under Aristotle's teaching, Alexander had learned science, geography, and literature. Aristotle was a great philosopher, by the way, grade 9. As a young boy, Alexander learned to ride a horse, use weapons, and command troops. With Greece now secure, Alexander felt free to carry out his father's plan to invade and conquer Persia. So he was just pursuing to achieve his father's dream is to what? To conquer Persia. Alexander marched into Egypt, a Persian territory, in 332 BC. The Egyptian welcomed Alexander as a liberator. During his time in Egypt, Alexander founded the city of Alexandria at the mouth of the Nile. After leaving Egypt, Alexander moved east into Mesopotamia to confront Darius, who was the king of the Persian Empire. The Alexander's other conquest. Let's see how Alexander other conquests. So let's see if he conquered Persia or not. In 326 BC, Alexander and his army reached the Indus Valley. By the spring of 332 BC, Alexander and his army reached Babylon. Alexander announced plans to organize and unify his empire because his empire was swirling in different places. So he wanted to unite this empire. He would construct new cities, roads, harbors, and conquer Arabia. However, Alexander never carried out his plans. He became seriously ill with a fever and died few days later when he was just 32 years old. Let's see Alexander's legacy. After Alexander died, his Macedonian general fought among themselves for control of his empire. His empire, as we mentioned, was very large, and also it was swirling. So you can find at any place, at any territory, that this place is regarded for the Alexander's empire. So eventually, three ambitious leaders won out. So Antigonus became king of Macedonia and took over control of Greek city-states. Then Ptolemy seized Egypt and took the title of Pharaoh and established a dynasty. Seleucus took most of the old Persian Empire, which became known as the Seleucid Kingdom. That's it. Thank you, grade 9, for watching.